Okay, so we were just talking about Nirvana because I was playing "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and what were you about to tell me?
I was going to tell you that I'm not a big Nirvana fan. Never really was, even though I grew up in the Northwest, and that's
Right.
where that music's from.
Right.
And it probably has a little bit to do with it. It was just that kind of music at that time was so just encompassing of the area and the region. It was just one of those things I heard all the time, and the music was it got me depressed. Nirvana, there's just something about Nirvana and Kurt Cobain and his voice. I was like, oh, God, where's the nearest bridge? But fans are always fickle. I'm a Pearl Jam. I like Pearl Jam better than I liked. Obviously better than I liked Nirvana. So went to a couple Pearl Jam concerts and vaguely remember what went on. But,
what's your favorite Pearl Jam song? Do you have one? The one that you can remember?
See, I can't remember off the top of my head. Man, I'd have to look at. Oh God, it's the album with the pink cover. I'd have to look at a list. I was definitely more of a Pearl Jam fan than Nirvana. I was one of the few out of plenty of people that just love. I mean, my wife loves Nirvana.
Okay, so 10 is the album with the pink cover, and Even Flow I think is the best song from that album.
Yeah, it would probably be Even Flow. Yeah,
Even Flow.
And
Alive is another good one.
Yep,
Alive.
Oh yeah. I was going to say there's like a song on the album that was like before or after it. That was pretty.
Yeah, that was before, and then like Jeremy I think was after that. And
Jeremy,
then,
yep.
Oceans maybe. Is the other one on there?
It might be. Yeah.
I think those are the four like number ones or whatever from that album. 10.
True. Yep. I think. Yeah. That sounds about right. So, yeah. But Even Flow. Oh, yeah.
Even Flow is. So I don't want to say that is their song, but it's very difficult to come up. Yeah, it's very difficult to come up with another 3 or 4 that would even be close to Even Flow. I think Even Flow is probably their most well-known song. I mean, people don't know that that's Pearl Jam, and they don't know the name of the song, but they know Even Flow when they hear it.
Yeah, and
I would say.
And you know what? The sad thing is that those bands, as great as they were, I would have to say kids these days don't even know who they are.
Oh, yeah, and the kids these days are stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know. They don't know anything about good music. So I have friends, right? I listen to oldies, 105.7 Magic Oldies or whatever it is in Cleveland. Sure. That's the only station I listen to. And people go, why do you listen to that old stuff? And I go, I'm listening to good music. You're listening to garbage. I'm listening to good music.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I listen to oldies music out here, like the 70s, old school 70s, 80s rock.
Right.
I was never a big alternative guy. Like I wasn't into that whole thing growing up, like with Depeche Mode and all that kind of stuff. But the
Reach Out and Touch Me. How can you not like Depeche Mode?
Well, okay. One song by them is my favorite, Master and Servant. Don't ask me why. It's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, my God. I don't even know who you are. This changes everything. All right, folks, welcome back to Campus Pressbox, episode number 39. I'm Damien Bowman. Mike, it's been like 2 months, right?
It's been way too long, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So that's Mike Wilson out in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, or Phoenix-ish. No one really knows where he lives. He drives a red Beamer. Just look for that. And it is red, isn't it?
It is red.
Yeah. And I'm in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. It was 45 degrees today on December 3rd, so I have no complaints.
That's shorts weather for you guys.
50 or better. 50 for me, it's 50 or better.
Okay.
For me, it's 50 or better.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe we'll talk about football. Actually, at this point, I don't even care because we're talking about Nirvana and Pearl Jam, so whatever.
We're talking about music, man.
Yeah, music. Right. We don't have to talk about football. We can talk about whatever. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
Who's your top 4?
My top 4? Let's see. It would probably right now mirror what the committee has, and I don't disagree with what they've put out there in terms of Clemson's 1, Alabama's 2. Who was I can't remember who they had as 3. Was it Iowa? Do you remember?
I should know this. What would be Iowa and then Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, Iowa, it's like 3 or 4, switch them around, whatever it is. Right. But, I don't have a problem with it. I think the whole Iowa thing and people downplaying them because of their schedule and, the lack of quality, really, opponents that they've played. We all know that they escaped the Michigan schools and Ohio State. But they, on, Saturday, they get to play Michigan State. So that whole undefeated thing with them will work itself out. I think Oklahoma, you could argue, is probably playing some of the best football, if not the best football in the country right now. Clemson's just doing what they're doing and playing who have to play. And I heard someone today just go, Bama's being Bama right now. But I've also heard the argument that that Bama could be, some people would have them number 5 or maybe even number 6.
Who are these people?
Well, one of them is one of the coaches that I coach with at where I work. And then who was I listening? Oh, I was listening to Colin Cowherd. He was saying he would have
Bama at number 5?
He would have them at 5 or 6, yeah.
Who would he have who would be above them?
Man, you had to ask a tough question. He had Clemson in there. He had Iowa, in his terms, regrettably in there. He had Oklahoma. God, who was the other one?
Okay, let me save you.
I think he had like 2 Big Ten schools in there. I think he had Michigan State and Iowa. And I think for the most part, I think it was almost like not exactly shock value, but I mean, he was just trying to get people talking and trying to piss off the SEC fans or something. But he said because of quarterback play, and they really haven't played too many. They don't really, to him, they don't have a quality win. But to me, Bama, you could switch Clemson and Bama around to me, and I would have no problem with it. But what say you?
Right, the top 4 that I turned in on Sunday,
sure.
I guess Monday actually, was Clemson, Alabama, Iowa, Oklahoma, Michigan State, North Carolina, Florida State, Stanford, Ohio State, and regrettably Houston because they beat my midshipmen.
Yeah.
Ohio State, I have them ranked the lowest of our mock committee at number 9. You have Ohio State at number 8.
I have them at 8, yeah.
Is there any way Ohio State gets back in? I mean, doesn't everybody and their mom have to lose?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same way with Stanford. I mean, those 2 schools need absolute chaos to happen. I mean, they're going to need Bama to lose. They're going to need Clemson to lose because let's face it, whoever wins the Iowa Michigan State game, they're in.
Right, but who's playing the Pac-12 championship?
Stanford and Trojans, USC.
Right. So Stanford has significantly better chance than Ohio State does because they play in a conference championship game.
Where does the committee have Stanford again? Wasn't it like 6 or 7 or something?
You know what,
like
Mike?
that?
I'm just going to pull this up here, because I thought maybe you would have got it while you asked me the last question. So I'll just pull this up here. College football playoff.com. Just stand there, Mike. Just
Yeah, no problem.
I'll take care of it. Yeah,
you're on it.
I'll take care of it. Yep.
Yeah. Just feels like teen spirit to me.
Yeah, here we go. Mr. I don't like Nirvana. Okay, so the top, who do you want? Stanford's at, Ohio State's at 6, Stanford's at 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think they both need at least one of the teams up top to lose, if not a couple of teams, because to me, whoever wins Iowa, Michigan State, is going to get into the playoff. Oklahoma's done, and I don't think they're going to drop any. And so one of those 2 teams need both those top teams, or at least one of those top teams, to at least lose to have a shot. But right now, I would say it's either team, it's a slim to none shot.
If Michigan State beats, if Stanford beats USC convincingly, they're in the playoff.
You think?
If Michigan State beats Iowa, yeah.
Okay, so if Michigan State beats, Michigan State would not get in then with you?
Correct. I think if Michigan State beats Iowa, right, then that makes that's 12-1 and 12-1 Iowa, Michigan State.
Yeah.
And Stanford convincingly beats USC.
What would be convincingly?
I take Stanford.
At least by 3 touchdowns?
Sure. 3 touchdowns. I mean, 2.5, I guess, whatever that is.
All right.
17 points.
But, I mean, wins convincingly, looks dominant, the whole bit. So they would, in your mind, they would take a 2-loss Pac-12 champ over a 1-loss Big Ten
team. Yeah.
Now,
I think Michigan State, Ohio State, and Iowa are all very similar, and I think the conference. I still think the conference is terrible. Like, you'll never convince me the Big Ten is good.
Gotcha.
Not this year. Not in 2015. And if it's me, I take Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Stanford. That said, we all know that Ohio State fans will watch and travel no matter what. So if Michigan State beats Iowa, and if Alabama loses to Florida, which I don't think happens, but if North Carolina beats Clemson, I could see Ohio State sneaking in. Oof. I don't know how, but I think there's a way.
The brand.
I think Michigan State gets screwed somehow. That's basically what I think Michigan State is this year's Auburn of 2004.
Really? That's no. I mean, you bring that up, and that does make sense. But I just sit here and go, man, take a 2-loss Pac-12 over a 1-loss Big Ten. I don't know. I mean,
Mike, let me ask you this: what do you think about Iowa? Straight up.
Iowa's had to play who they've had to play. I mean, it's no fault of theirs that the Big Ten scheduled the way they did. So they've done their part. Now, to me, Iowa, I don't see Iowa winning on Saturday because I have much more trust in Michigan State because they've done it before. They've won big games before. They went to the Horseshoe and won. Iowa is, to me, they're a nice story. They're a great story, but I think it ends for them on Saturday. I mean,
Okay, let me ask you it this way.
Sure.
Can Iowa beat Oklahoma? Yes or no?
No.
Can Iowa beat Alabama?
No.
Can Iowa beat Clemson?
No.
Can Stanford beat Iowa?
Can Stanford beat Iowa?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I think they can. But I kind of look at them at both squads as relatively the same kind of squad. They're big. They're going to try and push you around. Running game, pound it, that kind of thing. But I think Stanford may have a little bit more team speed. I think where Iowa gets beat is their team speed to me is not what the other teams are, and that's where they're going to get beat.
You're talking about slow white guys at Iowa.
Slow white guys, yeah. People like me, yeah.
Stanford should be number 4.
Right now?
Yeah. I don't think this is a conversation. I think if Stanford had not lost to Northwestern, they'd be number 4 right now.
I would take that. Yeah, I believe that.
And I think that they are number 4 because Iowa beat Northwestern. And I don't know if Michigan State played Northwestern, but I will assume they did, and I will assume that they beat them. And I think that's why Stanford is number 7.
So is your thought process with Michigan, if Michigan State wins and Stanford wins, but Stanford gets in, is your thought process also the Pac-12 is just a stronger conference?
Yes.
And that's they would look at that and go, okay, they're a little bit more battle tested. They've beat SC. They've beat all.
Michigan State survived Michigan.
That's true.
And they survived Ohio State, didn't they?
Yeah.
Right? Like, didn't they kick a field goal at the end to win that game?
Right at the end, yeah.
And Michigan State, Michigan, didn't some kid fumble the ball or whatever the hell that was, and a kid picked it up and ran to the end zone? Right. Yeah. They haven't beaten anybody.
Like legitimately, like straight up.
Iowa's beaten more teams than Michigan State has. Legitimately beaten
like
teams.
Straight up, yeah.
Yes.
They
no BS.
Yeah.
Yes, they've beaten teams.
Mm-hmm. Who would you say Iowa's best win is? Is it Nebraska?
I gotta look at their schedule.
Oh,
hang on. I would guess Wisconsin without looking at.
Or
their
Wisconsin,
schedule.
Yeah.
So the only two teams that they play that are ranked right now, they beat Wisconsin 10-6, and they beat Northwestern 40-10. Right, and those two teams are 19th and 20th right now.
So those are the two teams they beat straight up, legit. Michigan State.
Yeah. Iowa State out of conference, Iowa State out of conference. Pitt by 3 out of conference. Illinois State by 14.
And going
North
into
Texas
the season, didn't people think Pitt was going to be fairly decent? I mean, they turned out to be kind of average, but I mean, they weren't going to be like an easy out, right?
No, but Narduzzi, right? Like Narduzzi from Michigan State. So I don't really know what the thought process was there. I mean, Pitt's 8-4.
Yeah,
second in the ACC. Coastal, so they're good. They're not terrible.
Yeah, they have the same record as the Trojans. I mean, so
we'll get to that guy in a second because I have issues there.
With Elton.
Yes. No, not with Helton. He's fine.
Or Hayden.
He's signed. Yes, absolutely. Oh, my God, this dude. Okay. All right, so if everybody wins out, Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma's obviously off, Iowa. What else am I missing here? 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm missing somebody here.
Let me just ask you this. Were you throwing stuff at the TV with the Notre Dame game last week?
Nah. I was at a party.
Oh.
I mean,
You're throwing
here's
back.
the thing. No, I wasn't drinking.
Oh.
But I mean, they got to stop that. I mean, they got to pass.
Oh yeah,
they
absolutely.
have to pass on third down or whatever that is. Just foul the kid and take the 15 yards.
Yeah.
Just foul the kid.
Yeah. Don't play that prevent
crap. Defense prevents you from winning.
Exactly.
Marty Schottenheimer. I lived in Cleveland for all those years. I know exactly what prevent defense is.
Yeah, I hate it.
Just foul the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Stop giving up the stuff underneath or whatever, or over the top or whatever, because you're not going to stop him. Once he gets open field, you're done.
And the announcers were exactly right in terms of that play. I mean, they even called it before the play. They're like, the weakest spot in a spot like this is going to be right down the seams and right in the middle of the field. What they do, they went right down the seams, right in the middle of the field. Boom. I was like, oh my God, Brian Kelly has to be pulling his hair out. So.
Well, the thing is that Notre Dame secondary has not been good for about 20 years. So, I mean, Brian Kelly has no one to blame but himself.
Well, that game, neither one of the defenses looked good. I mean, they're going both squads were going up and down the field on each other. And
I got to tell you something. That game still doesn't excite me. I just can't get into Notre Dame at Stanford. It does nothing for me.
Yeah, you know what? And I agree with that because it's not the Trojans and the Irish to me at all, and it's unless there's something. And I think I might have said this in a podcast way back, but Stanford and the Trojans, people look at that as a rivalry kind of game. I'm like, that's not even close. Like, no. I only watch that game if it's like a game that has like significant meaning, like it did last week. Other than that, if I got to watch my Beamer, I got to watch my Beamer and not watch the game.
No disrespect to UCLA, but I wish USC could find a way to make that game Week 13 every year.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. The one thing I do like about that game, and this is going to sound kind of
which game?
The Bruin Trojan game.
Oh, everybody wears their dark uniforms.
I love it.
It has to be. Yeah. Absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah, that's got to be it. That's got to be it. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I just can't get into Stanford and Notre Dame. It just doesn't do anything for me.
Anything particular about it, or is just
it feels contrived. It feels fake. It feels like Rutgers and Penn State trying to be a rivalry. Like it's not natural. There's no, other than the academics, there's no relation between the two schools.
True. Yeah, there isn't. Yeah, I mean, even for me, growing up on the West Coast, That was never something that I was like, ooh, it wasn't appointment television.
No.
It was never.
Yeah, it's certainly not like Notre Dame and Navy and Notre Dame and USC. Like, I mean, I always know what those games are.
Oh, yeah. That's appointment television, no matter really what the teams are like, because it's it's just always been there.
Yeah, history and tradition. I mean, and I've been poo-pooing rivalries, and I want Auburn to move back to the East in the SEC. Bert actually talked me into this, and I'm okay if I don't see the Iron Bowl every year, and I'm actually okay if I don't see Ohio State, Michigan every year, and I know that's sacrilege for a lot of people. But
no, I hear you.
But I think a lot of these rivalries, like I think a lot of them have run their course. You know what I mean? Like the people who go to Ohio State and the people who go to Michigan, and the people from Ohio, right? And I'm from Ohio.
Sure.
Who are Ohio State fans, and people from Michigan who are Michigan fans. It's the biggest day of the year for them. But you know what? Like, I'd rather see that game in the Big Ten Championship where it actually means something as opposed to the last game of the year. Yeah, I don't care. I'm over it. You know, like I had a chance to go watch that game, not go to the game, but just like watch the game. And I said, you know what? I'd rather referee basketball than watch that game this year. And I just don't care.
This was the second or third year in a row that I really didn't even watch the game.
Yeah. I didn't even watch the Iron Bowl this year.
Yeah.
I didn't see a single snap of that, but I still haven't seen anything. A highlight, anything. I have no idea. I just looked at the score.
I've seen highlights, but I didn't watch the game.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to talk about USC.
Sure.
Because I'm a little upset here.
I can tell.
I think Pat Hayden took the easy way out here.
There's certainly a part of me that thinks that he took the easy way out. Now, am I glad that Helton got a chance and is getting a chance here? Absolutely. You know, I'm not mad at Helton in the least. It's Hayden that I'm with you a little bit here, that I just don't want to interview anybody, or I just don't want to set up the committee that wants to make sure that I don't screw this up, again, kind of deal. So what's your beef?
Okay, so here's my thing with Pat Hayden. We talked about this, or I talked about this with Bird, or I can't remember who I talked about this with.
Sure.
The USC people got on their knees and begged and pleaded Pat Hayden to come to replace Mike Garrett 3 or 4 years ago to be the athletic director, right?
Yep.
And whatever you think about football and basketball and volleyball and soccer or whatever at USC, Pat Hayden has left his stamp on this athletic program, right?
Absolutely.
So when it comes time to make the most important hire of your athletic director career, even if you don't want to be the athletic director, why wouldn't you at the very least, pick up the phone? And look, here's the thing. I don't know if you did. Why wouldn't you call Jack Del Rio and say, hey, bro, you want to come back, or you good where you're at?
You know what? The talk out here is that he did make the call.
And Del Rio said no?
And Del Rio was hesitant about it. Now, that there's nothing substantiated with that, but some LA papers have mentioned that, and I've even heard it on the radio out here that a call was made. Now, what Del Rio's response was, no one can confirm anything in terms of what he said. I mean, of course, he's not going to say anything, but you know, there's been plenty of smoke in terms of that call out to up to Del Rio there in Oakland. So,
okay, so why does USC feel like that they can only have people from inside the program coach this team? Like, do they realize that outside of Pete Carroll, like nothing has really gone well for them in the past 30 years? Outside of Pete Carroll, really nothing has gone well for them, and it's all been dudes from the inside.
Yeah, it's all been in-house hires. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the arrogance of the program.
There's nothing left. There's nothing left.
But
Michael.
You know what? I know, but I mean, you have to admit that those people in that program that are associated with that program have a view of themselves and what that program to them, has produced, has done, which, in the last 30 years outside, like you said, outside of Carroll, hasn't done anything.
30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong. 30 years, it feels like they haven't done anything outside of Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a few players, right? You got a Big 12, Pac-12 championship and Rose Bowl, but you had nothing outside of Carroll. Nothing.
Yeah, and before that, it was John McKay.
Right. Yeah, nothing.
But there was, between McKay and Carroll, there's a boatload of years where it's just average at best. I mean, not
garbage.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's, I think some of it is just the arrogance of the program and thinking that no one who's never been here, never been a part of the program, is not going to be able to understand it, and the fans won't come, which is a bunch of crap. Okay, I mean those fans are just as rabid for their program as any other big time program there are. I mean, like with Notre Dame, I mean that team could suck, but they're still going to fill the stadium. And SC's the same. SC's the same way. Okay, so I don't know what their issue is with it. I mean, for a little bit, I thought, God, are they gonna make a call? Like to Chip, make the call, gauge his interest. Not that he would come, but just at least make the call and see what he thinks and what he would want to come back out west. And whoever else. I mean, shoot, they could have waited and they could have made a call to Richt. Not that would be a great fit, but I mean, I don't know. Now, like I said at the beginning, am I happy for Helton? Absolutely. Guy gets his shot. Guy gets his money. Okay, but there was something with me that I'm like, maybe you gotta make a few calls outside of the program, outside of Trojan people, and maybe get some fresh ideas in here, something different, But they did what they did.
Okay, so 1974, John McKay, national championship. 1978, John Robinson. I don't even know who this dude is.
John Robinson. Okay.
UPI.
Yeah. No idea.
Yeah, UPI national championship. So you take that for what it's worth. And then after that, Carroll, 2003, 2004. And 2004 is vacated, but I'll count it because I still played the games.
Exactly.
So 1970, and look, I don't know who John Robinson is, so he's out. So 1974 to 2003, a complete wasteland at Southern Cal. An absolute wasteland. You can have all the Heisman Trophy winners you want. That's great. That's beautiful. Look, I hate individual awards. Nothing. Garbage. Absolute, complete garbage.
So total, they have like five titles, right?
No, they have 11.
Oh, they have 11. Oh,
they have 11.
Oh, it's five.
Yeah, McKay has
5.
McKay has 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about national championships or Heisman's?
I got the two mixed up.
Yeah, they have 6 Heisman Trophy winners.
Okay. And 11 titles.
And I don't know if they hang on. I don't know if they throw Reggie, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 actually.
Okay.
And no. Yeah. 7 and then Reggie Bush.
Yeah. I still count Reggie.
Yeah, so 7.
Yeah.
So 7 total, and then including Reggie Bush. So 6 in Reggie. Carson Palmer, Reggie Bush, Leinart, Charles White, Mike Garrett, OJ, Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
And
not bad.
And actually, Reggie Bush is the only one to not have his number retired.
Yeah. True.
Which is crazy to me, because I figured the USC people would say, screw you, we're retiring his number.
You would think, like I was saying, with the arrogance of the program.
Right. And no one has worn number 5 since he left.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be like an unofficial official. No one wears the jersey thing.
So, okay, so you don't think Mark Richt would fit at USC?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm just saying, a Southern guy going out west. I mean, I don't know if he could handle the LA media, but I mean, he's handled SEC media, so I mean that's a monster unto itself. But it would have been interesting to see, if they would have waited 4 days or whatever it was. So, what do you think they should have done?
Who?
SC.
Well, I don't think Chip Kelly works. I know that that's a popular name, but I think Chip Kelly's all in the NFL until no team will give him a job. And exactly. I think that there are plenty of teams that are willing to take a chance on him. But as far as who would work at Southern Cal, I can't tell you. I don't know who they called. I think Peterson could work there. I think Whittingham could work there. And I haven't even crossed the Mississippi yet.
I think Whittingham would be great at SC. Because he's a more, to me, I mean, he's kind of like, Helton's that coach's kind of coach, and I think Whittingham's the same kind of personality, rough, tough, I'm the guy in charge, this is how we do it, screw off if you don't like it kind of deal. I look at Whittingham, and I thought about this the other day, he's a more accomplished Helton. Helton hasn't, he's 5-2 over since he's took over, or 6-2 if you count a couple of years ago than when he took over. But to me, they're roughly the same kind of personality, pretty much the same. They like to run the ball. They like, they'll use the athletes, spread it out, that kind of deal. But he's a more accomplished Helton to me, and I think he's the one guy to me that would be a good fit in LA.
I think the biggest problem at Southern Cal is the same problem at Texas. I think the two schools are very alike. There's too many chiefs in the kitchen.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Or too many chefs or whatever. I think there's too much. Everybody wants to be in charge, and all the alumni, and I think what's the guy? Hayden said, all the alumni are happy with the coach. Who cares about the alumni?
Yeah.
Are they coaching? Who cares?
Yeah. No, I agree.
You know what? They should have gone across the street and got Mora. Get somebody.
And that Mora was even mentioned as a replacement for Sarkisian, which, to me would seem a little weird. You go to your crosstown rival.
Is it Mora's rival? Did Mora go to UCLA?
Yeah, Mora's at UCLA. Yeah, he's the head guy.
No, did he go to UCLA?
Oh, did he go to UCLA? No.
Yeah, then it's not his rival. It's UCLA's rival. It's not Mora's rival. It's UCLA's rival. There's a difference. It's like Harbaugh going to Michigan State, or actually Michigan State or Ohio State. Harbaugh went to Michigan. Yeah. Mora did not go to UCLA.
True. But it's still, you're still taking your crosstown rival's coach and that whole bit. So, it just seemed like a little strange to me. But, nothing in college football should shock anybody anymore. So.
What shocked me?
I don't know, that Missouri can't hire anybody right now?
No, nobody wants to go to Missouri. No. Right conference, go south. Go south and east.
What, Georgia?
No, go west and go south.
Auburn.
Go east and go south. So only one school there.
Alabama.
No.
We're talking to Mississippi schools then.
No, we're talking about LSU.
Oh, okay. You said go east.
What are these people?
You said go east. That's west, buddy.
Okay, look. I went to Catholic school, okay? Are we doing Stations of the Cross yet? That's the only time I know what direction I'm going. Is that the right season? That's Advent awesome. Now, right? That's now, right? Station of the Cross? Is that what we do this?
There's the title.
Is that what we do here? Station of the Cross? Is that this time of the year, or is that Easter?
Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, I'm ready to throw holy water right now. Let's do it.
I don't know if you're qualified to throw holy water. You're not even Catholic. Are you Catholic?
I was born and baptized Catholic, yeah.
Oh, my God.
They'll let anybody in.
It's Mary and Joseph.
There it is, folks.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
There you go. Another one. Just rack it up, buddy.
What are these people in Baton Rouge thinking?
I have no idea. The guy wins you a title. He battles every year. He gets, top 10 recruiting classes every year. He wins games. What do they say? He averages 10 or 11 wins a game and
a year,
and he's been there for what? How long has he been there? 10 years?
15.
Yeah, 15 years.
Ish, 12-ish, whatever. 2007 was that title,
I sat there and just went, really? And the guy won, 70% of his games or 75% of his games or something insane? Yes. I'm like, are we kidding ourselves here? Who do you think is really going to come to Baton Rouge to coach? Are you kidding me?
You know what I equate this to?
What?
Bo Pelini. It's the same thing. Guy wins 9 games a year.
Yep.
They're living in the past. Here's the thing with the SEC. Everybody wants Nick Saban. Like, they don't want Nick Saban, but they want their own Nick Saban.
Yeah, and guess what?
And LSU got spoiled because they had Nick Saban, and he left, and he didn't come back. And they're still bitter that he didn't come back to LSU. I got to tell you this. When Nick Saban went to Alabama, if he had said, I think I want to go to LSU, they'd have fired Les Miles with a national championship, and they would have hired Nick Saban.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, yeah. God.
Easily, like, without a doubt.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been any hesitation whatsoever. None.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. And I know Les Miles was not great at Oklahoma State. And I know he's weird. And he doesn't
like him.
always coach his teams well right. But how can you not like Les Miles? He's the luckiest dude in college football.
I mean, what is there something in the drinking water up there or something where they think they're if they get rid of this guy and they handle it, holy Christ,
worst ever.
They handled this like the worst way you could.
Worse than Mac Brown. Worse than Texas handled Mac Brown.
Oh yeah, and then here's what the thing for me was with the whole thing when the AD after the game last week came out and he was like, yeah, he's going to be our coach for the following year. And as long as I'm here, he's going to be that kind of speech. Right. And he stumbled with it. He didn't seem like he was all fired up about it at all. But at that point, who had all the leverage?
Les Miles did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Les Miles had all the leverage because he had his $20 million buyout. I think if his buyout was $3 million, they'd have fired him. No matter what. It would have been the wrong move, but they'd have fired him.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And, but $20 million, I'm like, no
hey,
offense,
you know something, Mike?
No offense
Let me tell you
to
something.
Louisiana, who has $20 million,
Let me tell you something about the Louisiana State University, the Tigers there.
Louisiana State University?
Everybody's the.
Yeah, I know.
They're basically ready to file the educational version of bankruptcy. They don't have any money in that state for that school. And then they're going to fire a coach, and he's got a $20 million buyout?
Like you said, where are they getting the 20 million? I mean, where are these donors in Louisiana that got 20 million? What are they?
I mean, I don't know what the Duck Dynasty dudes are doing, but if they're going to throw $20 million away to get a better football coach, then that's insane to me. They're selling a lot of those Duck Dynasties noisemakers or whatever they're called. Duck calls or whatever.
Duck calls, yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's say, okay, so let's say that they fired him or they bought him out, right? Who was on their wish list? Who were they trying to get? I could really
Jimbo
never
Fisher.
get. They were trying to get Jimbo.
Has to be. It's only Jimbo Fisher. Didn't Jimbo Fisher go to LSU or something?
I have no idea. But why? If you're Jimbo, why do you leave the Seminoles? Why would you make that move?
Because you want to go back to LSU, right? I mean, I assume that he went there.
Okay.
No, he did not. He
did.
played at Samford, but he was the coach from 2006 offensive coordinator at LSU. So he was with
Saban.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I don't think anybody in their right mind decides to go in the SEC West against Saban.
No. I mean, you have to play, you'd play Saban every year. You got Auburn. You never know really what you're going to get with Auburn sometimes. But, I mean, they're usually fairly a good quality team. And he sticks out there in Florida State land. He just has to keep his kids from the bars and everything else out there. But, I mean, he has the run of the conference almost, just about. He's guaranteed he's going to win a bunch of games.
Well, okay, so here's my thing for Fisher. If you're Jimbo Fisher, I think you won out of Florida State. Because I think your image is so tarnished by everything that happened with Jameis Winston that everybody had such a high regard for you before all that stuff happened that now you want to go somewhere else and rebuild your image. But it can't be LSU because you have Nick Saban in the West. I think as soon as Saban retires, Jimbo Fisher leaves and goes to LSU or Alabama.
Well, yeah. I mean, if Saban leaves, I can see Jimbo making the Bama jump. I could see him making the Bama jump before I could see him making an LSU jump.
I don't know. I think, okay, so we'll talk about Alabama in a second, but I think Alabama, as soon as Saban leaves, they're calling Kirby Smart as soon as he doesn't tank at Georgia.
True. Yeah, I forget about it.
Unless, I mean, this is crazy, unless they're holding out for Lane Kiffin, which I can't see. Alabama we're talking about.
Yeah, I can't see
I have to think, and this is why I told Bird or Seth, I can't remember who I told this to, that I thought that Kirby Smart would go to South Carolina because that's kind of like no pressure, no history, where you're right after Spurrier, nobody's upset, you're good for 4 or 5 years, then you make the team decent, and then Saban leaves, and boom, you're back at Alabama. Really, nobody's upset. At Georgia, he's got to win at Georgia. Like, there's pressure at Georgia. There's expectations.
Absolutely. At Georgia.
There's no expectations at South Carolina.
And it seems like everybody and their dog is interviewing at South Carolina.
I thought didn't they hire somebody?
I haven't seen that they've hired anybody yet. I've just seen where it's just all interviews.
Speaking of South Carolina, you and I talked about this in the super secret Slack room the other day. That's so super secret that I mention it every week on a podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I threw out this suggestion. I wondered why nobody had even mentioned Rich Rodriguez from Arizona or Todd Graham from Arizona State. And what did you say to me that day when I said that?
I just couldn't see it happening just because of the years they have, and it just wasn't a hot. Teams like to go with the hot name and stuff, and they just had average seasons. Not that they had horrible seasons. There'd be a lot of teams that took 6 wins, but expectations were a lot higher than that. So I just didn't see it happening in terms of their names. But what happened?
What's the draw? What's the draw for Rich Rodriguez?
He's from the area. I mean, he's a West Virginia guy. He's an East Coast. He's an East Coast guy. So yeah, I mean that. Now, like I said in the secret Slack room today, that the last couple of weeks he's given these interviews with local media in Tucson and in Phoenix, where the interview he comes across really really whiny and complaining. I just can't, it's tough to get kids to come down here to Tucson, and we just got to I don't know why these Phoenix kids don't want to come down here, and, all that kind of stuff. And I started thinking, I'm like, is he just kind of, is he telling us that he wants out? Is he kind of setting the tone where he might take a look at an open job if it comes along, but, other than that, I just, unless it was like the Virginia Tech job. Now I could, if someone asked me about him in Virginia Tech, I would have been, yeah, they would have, I could see him going there.
That's a step down.
Maybe
it's a lateral move.
I would say it's more lateral. But the South Carolina job, it does make sense in terms it's the area for him that he's from. And I don't know just how well he's really, really adjusted to living down there in Tucson. But, I mean, if they hired him, if you take a look at his work, minus the Michigan years, he did very well at Virginia Tech, and he's 32-20 at Arizona. He has a Pac-12 South title. He got him to the Pac-12 championship game. So, out of all the names that I saw, and even California's Sonny Dykes was on the interview list I saw, Rich Rod would be the choice if it came down to it. I would believe. I have no idea what Sonny Dykes doing, or who he pissed off in Berkeley, but
he didn't piss anybody off. He's there for money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like there's something behind the scenes that maybe we just don't know.
Well, he's going to get more money at South Carolina than he's going to get at Cal. I mean, no matter what. Because Cal doesn't have any. I mean, Cal doesn't have any money at all. I mean, they got rich boosters, but they're not giving any money for football at Cal. It's not where the money's going.
Yeah, yeah. They are, and he's even interviewing. Dykes is even interviewing at Missouri.
Who is an interview? Oh, I guess no one's interviewing Missouri. Actually, I think that's good for Sonny Dykes. He'd be great at Missouri. I think that's a low-pressure situation for him. I think there's more pressure at Cal than there is at Missouri.
Explain.
Tell me I'm wrong. I think because of all the success of the alumni at Cal, right? Those are all tech people. They all make a lot of money. They're all really successful at business. I think that they figure that they should be able to get a coach that can be as successful as them, as quick as them. And at Missouri, whatever. We're here for journalism, and we're here to beat Kansas.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And Seth is going to tell me I'm crazy, and obviously Seth is very connected to Missouri, but I just think that I still think, and this is why I told Seth, I still think as long as this other stuff is hanging over Missouri and Gary Pinkel is still in the athletic department, no one wants that job.
Sounds about right. What about Muschamp?
No, he should stay where he's at.
I agree.
He should stay at Auburn. He's got a lot to prove. This year was not good for him.
Yeah. Like that.
I mean, we talked about how 1 year does not make a career, right? We talked about that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think when you get fired from Florida and they make all this big noise about you going back to Auburn and you being the defensive coordinator, and then this year you lay an egg, I think you have to stay for another year. And you can use that as look, these aren't my players and new defense and all that other stuff. I think you can make that excuse. But you can't use that to go somewhere else. That said, South Carolina will probably hire him, which is crazy to me. I wouldn't hire him.
Oh, I would take Rich Rod over Muschamp at South Carolina way before I would take Muschamp, because I'm with you. What he did at Florida, and he has some stuff to prove to everybody.
Well, and the indictment on Muschamp is that Jim McElwain will probably win the Bear Bryant Coach of the Year award with Muschamp's players.
Okay, hold on. We have a new hire at Missouri.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
Odom. Looks like Odom got the MU job.
Odom got the MU job. I just saw that from Seth.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning. I don't know if Seth is like throwing things or drinking heavily, but I don't know. Is that going to be a good fit for Odom?
I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know anything about him. He's a defensive coordinator. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about. Oh, that's right. Seth has his kids today. That's right.
Yeah.
Hang on.
But yeah, I mean, I had to look up who this Odom guy was. I was like, who's this guy? Like, are they just like throwing darts at a coaching staffs and just going, hey, that guy. All right. Yeah, let's go with him. Let's bring him on. Let's see what's going on there.
Stuck at the damn Little Mermaid. That's what Seth just told me. Oh, my God. All right. Who else has a new coach? Who else did we miss here? Here's the thing. Okay. Let me tell you something. I don't know anything about Missouri. I don't understand why they're in the Southeastern Conference. They're not south or east of anything but Canada. They're west of the Mississippi, right? Are they west of the Mississippi? Absolutely, they're west of the Mississippi, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not east of anything, and they're not south of anything.
Well, it's like Nebraska in the Big Ten.
Right. Neither school should have left where they were. This is what bothers me, is that all these schools move around, and it doesn't make any sense.
Or you remember this? When Boise State was going to be in the Big East or like the AAC or something like that.
The Conference USA.
Yeah. It was like they're a day's drive from the ocean. What are they doing out there? That doesn't make any sense. And I think I even talked about this with Seth or you. I'm like, okay, call me kind of old school with that kind of stuff, but if you're not within the geographic region,
you're out.
You're out. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I mean, people may go, well, it's a new day and all that kind of crap. I'm like, I don't care if it's a new day. If you're not in that region, it doesn't make any sense for you to be in that conference. You know, it'd be like Oregon State going, you know what, we're going to be, we're going to be in the Big Ten. No, you're not. You know, that kind of deal. There's no way.
Or like Texas in the Pac-12.
Yeah, that Texas or Oklahoma State, that made no sense to me whatsoever. I'm like, they're not even close to the West Coast. The Pac-12 is a West Coast conference. Hello.
Conference of Champions.
Hey, 100 years, Conference of Champions.
Okay, so Mark Richt's official at Miami?
Yeah.
What did he play, quarterback there?
At Miami? Did he go? I didn't know he went to Miami.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so he's I don't know. I couldn't tell you that, but I think he can win there. But I think he's going to need help from administration in terms of facilities and just pushing the program more than they have in the last. I don't know who was the guy that got fired from there. Was it Golden?
Al Golden.
Yeah,
Al Golden with the tie.
So, and I even heard his name mentioned in terms of like the South Carolina
Missouri?
job.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Missouri.
No, and even there's another school up east that is it Rutgers? Does Rutgers have an opening?
Yeah, Kyle Flood. They filed Kyle Flood in the athletic.
Yeah, I heard that Golden was going to be interviewed for the Rutgers job too.
That makes sense because he was at.
Wasn't he at Temple?
Temple before that. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does Maryland have a coach yet?
Yeah, they hired the DC from Michigan.
Yeah, DJ Durkin.
Even though, they hire a defensive guy, even though they come out and say we want a wide open offense and we want to throw the ball around the yard and all that kind of stuff.
Here's the problem: is there's too many openings and not enough good coaches, not enough supply for all the demand.
Exactly.
And there are going to be a bunch of schools that hire a bunch of people, and in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, they're going to fire them all. They're out.
Yeah.
I don't think Mark Richt should have gone to Miami. I am not a fan of people. We've talked about this. I am not a fan of people saying, "Oh, it's my alma mater. I'll just go back there." I don't think that works out well very often. In fact,
I don't think it really works out ever.
I can't think of any time that has ever worked out. The alma mater has come back and won something significant. Can't think of it.
Yeah,
I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, we made, who knows what Harbaugh will do. But, yeah, I mean, I can't think of anybody besides, Rick now and Harbaugh that are back at their alma mater. Did
Gundy go to Ohio or Oklahoma State?
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, I think he did. I think he was a receiver.
Quarterback there.
Or he's a quarterback. Okay.
Yeah, I'm almost positive he went to Oklahoma State here.
But still, I mean, he played
86, 89, but he hasn't won anything.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, exactly. He's had some good teams.
But he hasn't done anything with it.
But he hasn't done anything with it. Yeah, exactly. So,
and this is always my problem when these athletic directors say we're going to bring back our guy went to school here, Harbaugh, and Gundy. And Mark Richt, right? Like I just don't think it works well. And USC, like, think outside the box. Did Jim McKay go to USC?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
That worked out well, didn't it?
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's just like, can you go outside the family? It's not. We're not talking about the mob here. We're talking about coaching football, for crying out loud. And there's plenty of great minds out there that are outside the realm of your own school. So, I mean, it all, you and I, we both look at recruiting kind of, I think, in the same light where it's like, okay, 4 or 5 stars, whatever, they still have to frickin' play. They still have to be developed. But, Rick does have a track record. He has won. Now, he hasn't won titles or anything like that, but he's won, and he seems to have developed some pretty good players that have gone into the pros. He always had big linemen, the whole thing. But now, he's in Miami. Holy, it's one of the meccas of recruiting. and you and I both know that even though we kind of poo-poo it a little bit, college football is about recruiting anymore these days. As much as we may go, with it, Rick is in a hotbed. He doesn't even have to leave his frickin' state to recruit players.
He shouldn't have to leave the county.
Exactly. He might even have to only have to take like a 10 or 15 minute drive to get half these players. So, if he can recruit, and if he can get those players that Jimmy Johnson was, able to get, and Dennis Erickson was able to get while they were there. Not that they, they don't want to dress up in fatigues and, go to the clubs and all that kind of stuff, even though they probably will. But if he can do that, he can have some success. All these other coaches that we've mentioned that are going to Mizzou or South Carolina, I mean, they got to go all over the place to get kids to come. So, I mean, I think out of the ones that, that were hired, out of the coaches that were hired, I think Rick Stand, he does have a little bit, I don't want to say an easier time, but I mean, as long as he can get those kids to stay in state and go to the U, he can have some success there. So, I don't know.
All right, I'm going to ask you about all the games this weekend, but do you have anything else before that? Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, if we're not talking about Kate Upton, then no. So,
all right, Temple and Houston, who you got?
You know what? I'm going to go Temple.
You're
for
crazy.
no other reason, no other reason than just pick a team. Because,
all right, Texas and Baylor.
Baylor.
Over under 67.5. Baylor by 20. What do you got here?
The over under 67.5.
Mm-hmm. Baylor's favored by 20, 20.5. They cover both.
Yeah, because
No
I don't.
way. What? 20 points?
Oh, 20. You know what? I could see Baylor. I could see Baylor scoring all the points. I could see Texas getting shut out.
Okay, that's funny. That would be hilarious. Speaking of getting shut out and all the points, Florida and Alabama. Over-under is 40, Alabama by 18.
Oh, I got Bama in this game.
They cover the 18?
That's a tough call. What do you think?
I think Alabama wins by 6.
By 6. See, I was thinking like 10. So
I think this is another one of those crazy games where it comes down to the end, and Nick Saban's eating the fake grass at the Georgia Dome for the last time. Is this the last year they play in the Georgia Dome, or is it next year? I can't remember when they moved.
I don't know. I
don't
know. Is there football east of Mississippi? Like what?
Yeah, it's where all the champions are.
It's right.
College football championships. Just throwing that out there.
Just throwing it out there.
So who has the last championship west of the Mississippi? Oh, I guess Texas, right? Yeah, Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah, 2000. Was that 2005?
Yeah.
One with Vince Young. Is that what year that was?
That's the year I was at the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 years. Okay, you don't have to brag. All right, I see how you try to drop that in there. I got it. All right. Hey, I got the '93 Sugar Bowl, my man. You got a Sugar Bowl in a national championship?
I'd love to go to the Sugar Bowl.
All right. I was 11, but whatever. You don't have a Sugar Bowl.
Hey, you still went to the Sugar Bowl. Doesn't matter. I mean, I still got my T-shirt from the game. All
right, USC and Stanford. Stanford 4.5. Over under at 58.5.
Over under is 58.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Stanford, but it is. I will say this, and it is tough to beat the same team twice in a season.
Fight on for old SC.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all I got, man.
But would I be surprised if Trojans won? Nope.
Trojan on, my man. Trojan. Isn't that what they say out there? Trojan on. Who says that? Fight on or Trojan on or whatever they say?
It's fight on, yeah.
Whatever. Trojan on. Where are your Trojans? I don't know. No more kids, people. I don't know. Is that what we're talking about here?
Hey, I'm telling you, some of the T-shirts out there are phenomenal.
North Carolina and Clemson. Clemson 4.5. Over under 67.5.
I'm going Clemson. I don't even care if they cover. I'm just going Clemson.
Straight up, huh?
No, straight up.
It's pretty weak. All right, give me Clemson. By 3.
By 3.
So they do not cover. All right, Mike, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can certainly find me on campuspressbox.com talking and writing about everything Pac-12. You can find me on Twitter at pigskinopinion, and you can even email me at mike.wilson@campuspressbox.com.
Well, I feel like I haven't done this a while, so I want to make sure I get all the names right here. I'm going to start with my name, Damien Bowman, Damien Bowman. Now, I am on Twitter, but I have not tweeted in 10 days, personally. I don't know when I'll be back. I may never come back, but I'm sure I'll be back soon. You can email me, damien.bowman@campuspressbox.com. Don't forget to listen to the SEC 411 with Seth and Bird. I feel like Seth is he's like a podcasting whore. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. I don't even know where he's like a whore.
Tweet that one out.
Yeah. I don't even know where he is. He's everywhere. I can't even keep up with him. Right now he's at Little Mermaid or something.
He just put something in Slack, dude.
Did he?
Yeah.
Right, stand by, folks.
Oh, my God. You're a whore.
Oh, he's lazy Sething. He's dropping his own tweets in the Slack.
Yeah, exactly.
He's dropping his own tweets in the Slack there. That's all right. I do that too, so it's okay sometimes. All right, 4lights.fm/CPBX. B as in Baker, X as in X-ray. That's where all the shows are for this or all the Campus Press Box episodes. 4lights.fm for Campus Press Box, Suits and Laterals, the SEC 411, Tribe Time Now. Listen to all those shows. Are great. I'm only on one of them, so if you're sick of me, listen to those. You'll hear good stuff, and you won't have to listen to me. Mike and I will be back with Seth next week. We're going to do our bowl prediction show. We'll predict every single bowl game. It'll be great. It'll be glorious.
We'll bring the whore back.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be on his podcast early, and then he's coming over here. That's exactly my point. He's everywhere. Talk about I've seen the light. I've seen the Seth. He's everywhere. He's like a podcasting senator. He knows everybody. He knows everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets around, shaking babies and kissing moms or whatever. What's that saying? Shaking babies and
you're shaking babies. No, that's a felony. You are kissing.
What do they do?
You are kissing babies. You're kissing babies and shaking hands.
Oh, okay. So don't shake the babies.
Yeah.
All right. This is why I don't have kids. People wonder why I don't have kids. Because I shake babies. I mean, I don't shake babies, but that's what I would do. I don't know. Maybe I probably shouldn't say that either. I don't know.
Exactly. We can edit that part out.
Nah, I'll leave it. I'm not editing into this. I'm just going to run it.
Just going to run it?
Even the mermaid parts. I'm running that too.
Even the whore parts?
Oh, absolutely. So that's a podcasting whore. He's everywhere. What was that, Mary Magdalene? Wasn't she the whore in the Bible?
Hey, you're a better Catholic than I am, and that I don't know. That could be kind of sacrilege right there, buddy.
Stations of the Cross, man. We'll do Station of the Cross with Seth next week. I wonder how that'll go over.
Let's do it.
Yeah, don't even tell him. We'll see if he listens to this. We'll just see if he listens.
Just see if he will. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, we won't even bring it up to him. I'll start off the podcast with that.
Hey, we won't even bring up the whore part.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. We're leaving all this in. I'm not even editing this. I'm just going to download it and upload it and keep it moving. Maybe drop a few notes. Because, we didn't do anything we were going to talk about.
No, we talked about the games, and we talked about the coaching changes. Those are the links that you sent me. No, we did exactly what we were going to do.
All right. Fair enough. Anything else, Mike?
No, I'm good.
Say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people. We'll see you next week. Is there football east of Mississippi? Like what?
Yeah, it's where all the champions are.
That's right.
College football championships. Just throwing that out there.
Just throwing it out there.
So who has the last championship west of the Mississippi? Oh, I guess Texas, right? Yeah, Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah, 2000. What was that, 2005?
Yeah.
One with Vince Young? Is that what year that was?
That's the year I was at the game. Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 years. Okay, you don't have to brag. All right, I see how you try to drop that in there. I got it. All right. Hey, I got the 93 Sugar Bowl, my man. You got a Sugar Bowl? In a national championship?
I'd love to go to the Sugar Bowl.
All right. I was 11, but whatever. You don't have a Sugar Bowl.
Hey, You still went to the Sugar Bowl. Doesn't matter. I mean, I still got my T-shirt from the game. You know.
I think as an adult, I think the Sugar Bowl is better than the Rose Bowl as an adult, because bourbon.
That's all you got to say. That's just one word: bourbon.
Bourbon. Yeah. As an adult, I think the Sugar Bowl is better than the Rose Bowl.
I would tend to agree with you with that, based on that fact alone.
That's it. That's all you got. That's all I got. Just as an adult, the Sugar Bowl is better than the Rose Bowl. That's it.
Because
there's a parade every day in New Orleans. You guys, you know what? You guys have your Tournament of Roses parade. Look, I haven't seen that parade in 20 years. You guys can have that parade once a year, and Macy's or whatever hell else you guys do out there. There's a parade every day in New Orleans. When there's not a hurricane, there's a parade every day.
And sometimes the parade is topless.
What else do you need in life?
Exactly.
USC Stanford.
God, you and I would be a disaster.
Here's the thing. I would have to put somebody on standby to bail us out.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like, I wonder if you could, like, pre-book a bondsman. Like the bat phone.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That would be bad. I don't know, man.
Might want to ask Jim Cantori. He can tell you.
Oh, my God, that guy. There's one guy in America I could live without. Between him and Jim Cramer.
Oh, is Cramer's the
CNBC guy.
Yeah. The money guy, right?
Yeah, the money guy. Yeah. I'm okay without either one of those guys. I'm okay without either one. I don't need Jim Cramer or Jim Cantori. They both jumped the shark years ago.
I could do with those two, and I could do without Sean Hannity.
Absolutely. God. Absolutely. You know, and speaking of Hannity, at least Rush is just like hanging out, making his $100 million a year, and not pissing anybody off. Hannity's everywhere.
Oh, he's good God, dude. Is
Hannity even on Fox anymore? Or is he just doing that radio show?
He's there. He has his radio show, and he's there. And
is he on Fox still too?
Oh yeah, but he's.
You know who I really like at Fox?
There's only one person I like at Fox.
Shepard Smith.
Bingo.
Absolutely.
There you go.
He's the best news guy on television. I love Shepard Smith.
Because he will call people out at his own station. I'm like, yes, you go, boy.
Dude, so were you watching when they had the chase and the dude got shot live on TV?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't believe we showed that. And he's like yelling at the producer like on television. It was great.
He is just ripping him. Yeah.
Oh, the best to me, the funniest guy on television.
To me, he's one of the most real people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd watch him do a funeral. I think that would be great television. A funeral.
Can you have him do your eulogy?
That'd be great. Yes, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm in. Well, I mean, not me. I don't know if that works out well.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would never see it. I mean, I guess maybe depending on how your spirit goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all in. You know who I don't like on television? Sports.
A sports guy. Oh, he's probably the Fox guy, the announcer for.
Can't stand Gus Johnson. Cannot. Oh my God.
I don't mind him at all.
Oh, he's terrible.
Because everything it sounds like every play they're taking it to the house. It just sounds like it.
Yeah, and out of bounds in basketball is the most exciting play he's ever seen in his life.
Or a three-pointer.
Yes. Yeah, in the first half.
Exactly.
With 18 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Just calm the hell down.
He's cleared the first level, folks. He's in around the linebackers.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I can't do
I mean, Joe
can't do it.
Joe Klatt has to be sitting there he probably takes his earphones off. Like when he gets
the volume all the way down because you don't need to hear him.
Exactly.
It's so loud.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know who else? This one's sacrilege. So I don't have I'm obviously an Indians fan. Cleveland Indians. We're going to talk baseball here for a second. And the Houston Astros were my National League team. Well, now they're in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to like the Dodgers, but I can't do Vin Scully. I'm done with him.
Wow.
I can't do Vin Scully. I can't do it. He's got to go. Got to go.
Scully to me should have retired like 10 years ago.
Yes, him and Lee Corso.
Oh God, yeah, Corso, just do what the Notre Dame guy,
Lou Holtz.
God, I couldn't stand him, dude. And just go away, just fade into the sunset.
That's how I feel about Vince Scully.
Let Herb Street put the costume on at the
Somebody,
end. Jesus.
You know what I keep telling you, Spurrier, Les Miles, Saban would be great in that job.
Oh, Saban is.
I like Saban commentary. He's great.
Saban is polished. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, he is all good to go when he's like, because he's told his guys, his handlers, look, I'm not staying here forever, And like what I heard a story today that that he may have talked to Texas, but that was his way of telling the Alabama people, don't F with me.
And so what they did? They bought his house and gave him $1 million.
$2 million more.
They own his house. They bought his house.
They paid it off. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll buy your house, Nick. Yeah. You need another car dealership? We got another Mercedes dealership for you. It's fine. Yeah. We got all the dealerships.
And
whatever you need.
And he's good in real estate. That's the other thing I've heard. I'm like,
so who?
Go ahead.
Memphis hires Arizona State offensive coordinator Mike Norvell.
Oh God!
Just saw that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Joe Shad. So who's going to be my National League team? I was going to go with the Washington team, the Nationals, because I'm a DC guy. I love DC. Love DC. Didn't snow there. I'd be there.
Why do you love DC? Even though the taxes would be insane, dude.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll be able to deal with it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm a history guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be why I would go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm like you. I'm a history guy.
Yeah. But I can't do Dusty Baker. They just hired him as their manager. I can't do Dusty Baker.
Good God. Dusty,
he's been everywhere.
Just
the
enjoy
Cubs,
retirement,
the
man.
Reds. Where else? Wasn't he somewhere else? The Cubs and the Reds. I feel like he was somewhere else. I can't do Dusty Baker. Can't do it.
Wow.
So now I have no National League team. I was thinking about San Diego, but they wear camo uniforms. I can't get behind sports teams wearing camo.
I'm telling you though, if you ever get out to San Diego, you got to go to a Padres game. That stadium. Oh, you've been out there? Okay.
Oh yeah, Point Loma. I'm a Point Loma guy.
Oh, okay.
I've been to San Diego many times.
The gas lamp district? Oh, yes.
Oh, absolutely. Come on. What do you think? I'm an amateur? This is an amateur hour here, Mike.
Dude,
it's not amateur hour.
I've spent many a drunk evening in the gas
Coronado.
lamp. Oh, God. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Game over.
Yeah. This is an amateur hour. I've seen the I've seen it.
Preach, brother.
I've seen the light. I know where it is.
Oh, man. Yeah.